Hi everyone, it's Diana. I want to speak to you today about the moon, about Rosh Hashanah, about certain events. And I'm going to explain to you a bit the calendar so that you understand what God is doing and what you are going to experience. If we go throughout the year blindly, we are going to get stuck, right? We need to understand how God works, how He moves. And let me start with a psalm speaking about the moon. Psalm 89, verse 37. But I'm going to read 36 as well. His offspring shall endure forever, and his throne before me like the sun. Like the moon established forever, a faithful witness in the sky. Did you know that the moon is a witness? The moon is witnessing the sun's light. So the sun is shining. And this Bible verse says, his offspring shall endure forever, and his throne before me like the sun. So the sun is shining. You are seeing the sun in its full light. But the moon is only reflecting the light of the sun. That's why the Bible says that the moon is a faithful witness in the sky. Now, the moon is about cycles, and the moon is revealing to you certain aspects of the sun, but not everything. The moon has 8 phases, starting with the new moon and going into the full moon. Now we have Rosh Hashanah, and Rosh Hashanah is on a new moon. So the moon is not reflecting anything because everything is hidden, and you need to understand how God moves. The west wind is blowing during this time, and the west wind, what is it doing? If we go to Exodus chapter 10 verse 19, it says, "And the Lord changed the wind to a very strong west wind, which caught up the locusts and carried them into the Red Sea. Not a locust was left anywhere in Egypt." So God is removing by the west wind some things in your life. They are going to be carried away suddenly. Anything that you have struggled against, God is carrying it away. He is removing it from you by a strong west wind. If we go back to what the new moon represents, it represents the winter. It represents a valley. It's also connected to the north wind, because after the west wind blows, the north wind brings promotion. Let's go to Psalm 75 verse 6. It says, "For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south." So what is left? The north. So the north is where God dwells. So whenever a year starts, the west wind blows. Then comes the north wind. Then comes the east wind. And lastly, the south wind, which is in the summer. But if we think in terms of a day of 24 hours, the time when the year starts is the time between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. This is the winter season. This is where the new moon is placed. The year always starts with tishrei. Then we have Heshvan, Kislev, Tevet, Shevat, and Adar. And then we transition into the summer months, where everything is being revealed, where everything is in full light. There we have the full moon, and we go through the months Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, and Elul. This is the time between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you understand this, then you will understand your year. You will understand how God works, how He moves. This is what will happen. Right at the start, you will feel excited, but there will be some attacks because promotion has come to you. And the enemy always tries to steal your seed. If you plant the seed at the right time, you will have a harvest in the summer months, when you will be on the mountain, when you will be revealed. Certain things are happening in the darkness, in silence, and this is a time of silence. Why is Rosh Hashanah during a new moon? We associate Rosh Hashanah with the rapture. The rapture is being done in silence. Is it going to happen this year? No, I don't think so. We still have a lot of work to do. But we know about the rapture that no one knows the day and the hour. That's why we have a period of 2 days where the shofar is being sounded when the year starts. During a new moon, there is no witness. Everything happens in silence, in darkness. And so will it be for you. You will not be caught off guard when the enemy comes. This is the time that he attacks. This is the time that people usually fall. They fall into traps because this is the time of the seed. Jesus was born in Tishrei, in this month. In the month of Kislev, he was conceived. Light came into the darkness. So there is an opportunity to shine in the darkness because the seed has come. There was a conception, but he had to grow. And during the subsequent months, he grew, and then he was born. That was in the month of Tishrei. A new cycle started. A new thing started. So light appeared during the months of darkness. But then there was a process of growing. And as he grew, you could see Mary's belly grow. He came into the light. He came into revelation, into the mountain season, so to say. When we think about the start of a day, the sun goes up in the east. Now, when do we have this time? This time comes in a Nisan. So you need to prepare beforehand for the time of Nisan, because only then will you be revealed. Things that are being planted now will be revealed during the summer months, during the time from Nisan to Elul. That's the time of day, the time of the silence being broken, the time of being loud, the time of everybody seeing you. Yet, promotion happens in the north. That's where promotion comes from. The sun goes down in the west. And this is the time where, according to the Bible, a new day starts. It usually starts at 6 p.m. And here is where you have to pray to know, what is God doing in my life? There are 2 years that start. One starts in Tishrei and another starts in the month of Nisan. So we need to differentiate these 2 years. What do they represent? Why is 1 year starting in Tishrei and why is 1 year starting in Nisan? When God created the world, it was said that the world was created in Tishrei. That's when all started. These were the first days. The calendar was based on the sun. When God delivered his people from slavery, he changed their calendar and said, your year is going to start in Nisan. So the Hebrew year starts in Nisan, and it is based on the moon. So the Hebrew calendar is lunar. It's structured around the phases of the moon. And the civil calendar is solar. It is aligned with the solar year. It tracks the path of the sun. So the new year that we are entering now is connected to the civil calendar. It is connected to the sun. And although it's connected to the sun, we are entering a time of darkness, a time of hiddenness, a time where the rapture could happen, but it's not going to happen this year. So during this time, there is no witness of the moon because the moon is not shining. It is hidden. The last full moon we had was on September the 7th. It was also a blood moon. And whenever we have a blood moon, it can also be connected to covenants, to things that are changing. The blood moon can be a witness of something that has been established. So whatever happened that day, whatever God decided, it was settled. It was established. Then, we are going to have the new moon on September the 21st. And during this time, we will also have a partial solar eclipse. Then, on the 23rd of September, we have the first day of the month of Tishrei. So the year starts during these 2 days, the 23rd and the 24th. This time is a time to shine because light shines in the darkness. There are 2 types of shining. One is during a time of darkness, and one is when God reveals you during a mountain season, like when He elevates you. It's also a time of manifestation because if you think about Jesus, He was conceived during this time in the month of Kislev.